ARMY splashy. Jimin's emotional moment of crying while training with Jungkook. Rehearsals are usually a space full of energy, laughter, and hard work for BTS members. However, this time the atmosphere was a little different when Jimin was seen shedding tears during a training session with Jungkook. The moment was instantly in the spotlight, leaving many to wonder what was really going on behind the scenes. Sources present in the rehearsal studio revealed that the emotional moment occurred while the two were repeating one of the parts of the song in all seriousness. Jungkook, who is known to be a perfectionist, tries to push himself and Jimin to perform at their best. In the midst of that intensity, Jimin suddenly stopped his movements, looked down, and visibly wiped his eyes. ARMY, who learned about this news through leaks from staff and small footage circulating, immediately crowded to talk about it. Many fans speculated that Jimin's crying was not a sign of weakness, but it is a manifestation of how deeply he feels the connection with music and also the support he gets from Jungkook. Some witnesses said that Jungkook had approached, placing his hand on Jimin's shoulder and encouraged with gentle words that do not sound obvious. The gesture actually adds to the mood, because it shows how strong the emotional bond between the two is. This moment is also considered a real picture that behind all the perfection of BTS's performance on stage, there is hard work, tears, and deep sincerity. ARMY also flooded social media with special hashtags, expressing their support for Jimin and Jungkook, as well as wishing both of them well. Whatever the reason, one thing's for sure. This incident is yet another reminder that BTS is more than just a global music group, but also a family that supports each other, even in the most fragile moments. After Jimin's emotional moment was widely spread, ARMY around the world immediately made the incident the main topic of conversation. On Twitter, hashtags such as #JiminCryWithJK and #JakookStudioMoment got into global trending. Fans shared snippets of stories from witnesses who were in the studio and added messages of affection for both. Many wrote that Jimin's tears are a reflection of his sincerity, as well as evidence that he put his whole soul and body into music. ARMY's reactions were mixed, but they all led to one thing: unlimited admiration and support. Some were moved to see Jimin's fragile side, which he often hid behind his cheerful smile. There are also those who are proud of Jungkook, despite being focused and serious, keeps showing her soft side by calming Jimin in that difficult moment. For many ARMY, the scene seemed to show a very sincere intimacy, that their relationship is deeper than just colleagues. In addition, this moment also led to speculation that their practice was being directed at something much bigger. Some fans believe that Jimin and Jungkook are preparing a special project full of emotions. The pain was so intense that Jim couldn't hold back the tears. Some also suspect that they are working on a duet song with a personal meaning, which makes the exercise process feel emotional and mentally strenuous. Interestingly, after this moment, fans also saw a positive side. They considered Jimin's crying was not a sign of weakness, but a form of release of feelings that could actually deepen their performance. Many commented that Jimin's tears would be an emotional spice that made their later performances feel more alive and heartfelt. Not a few soldiers also reminded each other that this incident was real evidence of the struggle of the members. Before performing on the grandiose stage that the world highlighted, they had to go through long rehearsals, physical exhaustion, as well as unimaginable emotional stress. And in moments like this, it is clear how strong the support for each other among the members is. In other words, Jimin's cry soothed by Jungkook is not just a small behind-the-scenes scene, but a real portrait of friendship, sincerity, and the love that binds the two in their journey as artists as well as families. Since the debut of BTS in 2013, Jimin and Jungkook have shown a very different closeness from other member couples. Jungkook, who at that time was very young, shy, and not yet confident, often found it difficult to adjust to the rigors of the Korean entertainment world. Jimin, as the older Hyung, takes on a protective role. He often takes care of Jungkook, accompanying him to practice until late at night. In fact, it is not uncommon to be willing to postpone his sleep to make sure Jungkook can rest comfortably. ARMY still often remembers the old story of how Jimin fed Jungkook, who was lazy to eat when he was a trainee, or accompany him when he cries quietly because he is tired. On the other hand, Jungkook also found a home figure in Jimin. Although he was initially known to be very independent and stubborn, Jungkook slowly opened up to Jimin's attention. Even in some interviews, he once admitted that Jimin is one of the people he trusts the most in his life. Many fans refer to their relationship as the Jakook bond, a bond that was born not only because they share the same magne line, but because the two complement each other, Jimin with his affection and Jungkook with the loyalty he showed in silence. Little moments like Jimin, who always knows when Jungkook is not doing well, or Jungkook, who often gives attention in the form of simple, like carrying drinking water, holding Jimin's back when he was tired, to just look at him with understanding, all of which is why ARMY strongly believes that the bond of the two is not uncommon. Well, when we associate all this history with the moment Jimin cried in the studio with Jungkook, it becomes clear how that emotional cycle keeps repeating itself. Whenever Jimin feels weak, Jungkook is there to calm him down. Whenever Jungkook loses his way, Jimin is there to guide him. It would not be an exaggeration if ARMY said that this latest moment is just a continuation of a long story of friendship as well as a small family that they have built for a long time, even some ARMY judge. The reason this moment is so touching is because it depicts authenticity. Behind the big stage, behind the spotlights, they are still two young people who need each other, support each other, and strengthen each other. Jimin's tears are just one symbol, while Jungkook's touch is the answer that cemented their bond. When viewed from the side of the career journey, it is only natural that this moment triggers speculation that they are preparing something very personal. Many argue, if they are indeed preparing a duet, then the song can become a masterpiece full of emotion, not only because of the vocal abilities of both, but because they were able to inject the honesty of the heart into the music. And that, in the end, is the thing that makes BTS so beloved, their apparent sincerity. Once this news spread through short video cuts and leaks from several Korean entertainment media, the ARMY world seemed to be divided into two dimensions. One in the real world, where they can only watch from the screen, and one more in the emotional world, where they also felt such a sincere closeness between Jimin and Jungkook. Many fans wrote that they felt heartbroken when they saw Jimin crying, because for the ARMY, Jimin always appears as a figure who is full of smiles, warm, and always spreads positive energy. Seeing him shed tears meant that something very deep was being felt, but what made the moment even more thrilling was Jungkook's reaction. ARMY very quickly caught every little detail in their interactions. From the way Jungkook gently patted Jimin's shoulder, to his gaze that never left Jimin's face, everything was analyzed and used as a subject of conversation. Many fans wrote on community forums such as Weverse and Twitter that they could feel the sincerity of a brother's love for a sister, not just a fellow member. Jungkook's gaze at that time could not be lied to, wrote one fan. It's not an ordinary look. It was the gaze of someone who was so concerned, so worried, and wouldn't let Jimin feel alone. On the other hand, some of the ARMY admitted that this moment gave them inspiration. There are fans who write that Jimin and Jungkook's relationship makes them believe that true friendship still exists in this world, even in the midst of the rigors of the entertainment industry. Some also wrote that they remembered their own friends or family when they saw the interaction of the two. It felt so personal and close to their hearts. For ARMY, this moment is a reminder that love, friendship, and caring are at the core of BTS since their inception. The warmth reflected in the interaction of the two is inspiring. It's not just about the music, but also about how humans can support each other in difficult times. And perhaps, the cry is at the same time a sign that something bigger is being prepared, a work, a message, or even a new journey that will again shake the world.